Hello, everybody. Hello, Pauline.
Hello, it's another week again for a very exciting topic on BP leaders. Yeah.
Yes. And when you guys watching this, yes, you can see it's a recording. So sometime you guys will have our recording. Like promise, we always deliver you guys the content that we've been promised. So let's come to the topic of today. How do leader deal with their insight?
Yes, this is a hot topic right now because of this cartoon. Not sure whether Ni has brought her daughter to watch this
Yes,
cartoon.
yes. We watched in the first day.
You watch on the first day, Inside
Yes,
Out. If I
yeah.
haven't watched it yet.
I will tell you why. Because when the episode one, I'm not sure you watched the first
I watched
movie,
the
the
first episode.
first
Yeah.
time.
Mm,
It was like 2015,
okay.
and at the time, Ava not even born yet.
Oh, wow.
She born
Okay.
2016. That's how long I've been waiting for the second movie. And when I sit at the
Oh,
cinema and I wait to enter, and me and my daughter talking, because I make sure she understand what she's going to watch. I asked her to watch the episode one, and then
ah,
she's the one who bring up to me. She like, "Mommy, do you know this movie is older than me?"
oh,
Then I say, older than you? What do you mean? Then she showed me that it's made in 2015, and I like, oh yeah, you're right. so
oh.
so that's how long. That's how long the movie been on the market. And yes, I think you should watch
Yeah,
because it's
okay.
worth it. I don't know why. I think it's worth of the wait as well, because in here, like in theater, watching something so relate with whatever we're doing as well, about
Yeah.
the inside who you are and the chain that you have to deal with yourself every day. At the same time, you have to use that chain to live in the world and balance that.
Yeah.
Is complicated, compli- com-
Complicated.
complicated
Yes, complicated.
emotional that we have to deal with.
Mm.
Somehow is a part of us, and
Yeah.
the inner child inside is really amazing. Oh my god, that you can watch that with your kid. I think you guys will have a great bond again, because after I watched that, go home, my daughter
Mm.
was like asked me a lot of question about that, and we start discuss about crying. And oh, now I know why you asked me to cry, and it's okay to cry. And I like, oh,
Oh.
okay. So sometimes the mom say it's not affected by the movie. So yes,
Mm.
it's really worth it. And if you guys haven't watched it, please go to the cinema and watch it.
We are not promoting movies.
No. Yeah. But it helped for the education side.
Yeah. There are some movies really, sometimes I really love all these animation, or we
Yeah.
call it cartoons. They are really awesome in the sense that they are able to translate certain things that's really what Nee mentioned, a complicated concept into something that we can easily understood. I think they are really amazing, how
Yeah.
to put something like a feeling, and they know what type of feelings that human beings have, and
Yeah.
that makes it so complicated, but they
Yeah.
put it in a way that we can understand in a very relaxing, entertaining manner in a form of an animation. Can you
Yeah.
imagine how much work, how much thoughts are being put through in
Yeah.
all these things?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love the movie so much that I do research to figure out how this guy can do it so well. So he
Oh,
actually based on his daughter. He really used his daughter when the girl was young. That's how he
mm,
write first Inside Out.
yes,
And
I
now
believe
when the
so.
girl enter the
Yeah.
teenager,
Yes.
he used he used that to motivate him to create. And I think this is also the highlight that we have to mention about a type of leader that we call creativity. They
Mm.
really know how to bring stuff around the world to the creativity. Like Steve Jobs is a one of example.
Mm, mm, mm.
If you
Yeah.
watch back his old video, you won't understand what he tried to say. What like bring what like keyboard, like remove keyboard. Everything had to be beautiful in the screen.
Mm.
He really do what he promised. But when he have the idea in the mind and create something, was your
Your
success,
mic.
you
Yeah.
genius, right?
Yes. So
Yeah,
so that is also another thing about leader. Okay, so that today we are talking about something that is, since we are talking about insight, and we have
yeah,
this movie called The Inside Out that coincide with it, right? And it's really talking a lot about emotions. That's why I mentioned just now is like when we do a task, I'm a very task oriented person. So maybe it's in my nature that I don't think that much, or probably when I'm doing something, my focus is always there. That's why the emotions part, good and bad. Good in the sense that I control myself very well. I'm very focused and I get things done. Bad in the sense that I kind of like forgot that there are people, like the other episode that we talked about our nature, ESTJ, INFP. There are people who are not the S and the T, because I happen to be like an ESTJ that's very sensing, very thinker. But there are
yeah,
people who are more intuition. There are
yeah,
people who are more feelings type. So I need to also, when I watch this movie of the Inside Out, the first series, the first season, it gives me the awareness that I have also got to take care of people's feelings as well, as much
yeah,
as they need to complete a task. So, and a case of sometimes we are talking about emotions. Task is very easy to segregate. Okay, now I do this A. When I do A, I split this with B so that I don't complicate things. But emotions, how am I gonna segmentize my emotions? It's
yeah,
difficult. I cannot say, oh, this morning, we are parents, me, we are parents. Early morning when our kids are still young, we have a lot to deal with before we go to work. They
yeah,
do not cooperate like, adults. There are times they will be like, Mommy, I don't want to do this. I don't want to go to school. I don't want to have my breakfast. I feel like I don't want you to go to da 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 da. Da. We have to deal with all these things. And they are young. So after dealing with all these things, we have to go to work. So
yeah,
already our emotions will fill up early
yeah.
in the
It's
morning.
any
And so
everywhere.
yeah, and we deal with, like, for me, I have to manage my children. I have to manage my adults, which is my in-laws, who's the caregiver of the children, right?
Mm,
So after I manage both parties early in the morning from 6 to maybe about 8 o'clock, I rush to work. Then that's when my emotions are full, and that is where another demand come in, which is maybe work, business, partners, and even, well, if you're an employee, then maybe bosses. If you are managing a company like us, then it will be team members. Then how
yes,
do we solve, you know like the first question I will actually say, what is the emotion or situation that we have to struggle the most, and how we overcome this? I think this is something that, if you are parents like us, okay, maybe we deal with, or we handle that part first. We highlight this part, how we actually deal with it. So maybe I ask you first, because now
yes,
your children, because my children are old already, in the 20s, probably Nee is still having the stage of sometimes Eva maybe a bit, Mommy, I don't want you to. I'm not sure whether she's still at that stage. Yeah.
yes. She's
Yes.
still at that stage, and I still
Mm.
have to deal with that. And let me book that first. The
Mm.
question. So
Yeah. So the question is,
the
what is the emotion or situation you have struggled with the most?
yeah.
And how did we overcome all this? Yes. Yeah.
So the in state of my life now, I would say state of life, because in the past we don't have time to sit down and reflect that when you in your 20 the priority is different, and then
Mm.
when you're 25 the priority is different, and then early, like before you enter to 30, your priority different, and so on. So emotional is the same. When you were younger, the complexity of emotional is lesser compared with when you grow older, and I'm not sure that if Pauline agree with me about that, but and I believe the movie Inside Out will make it more episode to show you that the grow older you are, the more emotional will involve in your life. and it actually have study done to show that it called the emotional wheel. So if
Ah.
you guys Google that, the
Mm.
science studies show that you not even have involved in life with emotional. The emotional can be combined together to create a next emotional.
Oh.
So yeah, it's the wheel emotional is a very interesting. You can do some research about that.
Mm.
And that's when I start, and I think that it's like a cycle of accepted and don't beat myself up, and accepted and don't beat myself up. When you just happy for who you are, and suddenly you change again, or your life change again.
Mm.
Like when my girl will move from kindergarten to primaries, I think
Mm.
that's when I have to deal with the shocking change in her character a lot. That
Ah.
is affect job, because now her hour is change, her
Oh yeah.
personality change, because she have to be feel belong to her school. And
Mm.
primary school is very different with kindergarten. You know, kindergarten is the kid is having fun, sing song and dancing, and friend is loving, the teacher is fun. But when you go to primary school, you strict, like they strict, they very strict. You know, you need to be, yeah, you need to be on time, and you need to do certain thing. And the chain from the kid, the chain in the family, and the neediness is more. At the
Mm.
same time, I'm in the peak of my career where all my company also needing me.
Yeah.
You know, your employee is not strong yet, you have to train team. And I would like to say this, like universe have planned for you, and I plan it very well, because I cannot
Mm.
imagine if right now I'm in relationship or have husband as well. Really, I find it's a little bit blessing that I don't have to deal with that plus right now.
Mm.
And
Mm.
if 6 years ago you asked me that when I divorced, did I think that? I say no. You know, I would think it's the most sad thing of my life. But now I look back, I like, yeah, if I have time to deal with, take care of my
Mm.
child, take care of my job, take care of myself, take care of my career, because of that as well. But booking aside, I think I deal with the overcome and struggling the most. First, it still have to come from the love to my daughter, and the love to the work that I love to do. I
Mm.
think you really need to feel like you want to wake up to do something. If you cannot find that, I'm sorry, you don't live a life, man. Like it's so, how can you pick yourself up in the morning if
Mm.
you don't want to do what you're doing? So I think that should be the priority. And I'm glad I'm do that early, uh,
Yeah.
in the journey of when crisis happen. And then you you strengthening yourself on that motivation
Mm.
and that dream and that big why you have inside you. And practice, I think
Yeah.
practice is a correct word, because
Yes.
people ask me like, how do you practice emotional can be practiced? And I will tell you guys, it can be done, but it's very difficult. Like for
Yes.
example, if your children cry, you tend to run to the children and hug them, and, oh, are you okay? This is a practice I do. I will step back
Yeah.
and see what the situation, why she cried first,
Yeah.
right? And it look like a heartless mom outside, but actually I'm trying to train my daughter to, you cannot always cry. You can cry, but you cannot always cry. You need to solve the problem by sharing. And
Mm.
by step back and doing that now, I achieved that if she had problems, she will talk to me properly. I'm saying
Mm.
communication properly, not crying to get things done, for example. So
Yeah.
for me, how do I deal with it is really just practice. Practice, study more, do more research about psychology, figure
Mm.
out everybody in different state in their life, what they need and what you can support them. Because
Mm.
when you can support them, they will less burden on you, and then you have time to deal with the next problem or deal with your own self. So practice is a key for me.
Yeah. Thank
How
you,
about you,
Ni.
Polly?
Really. So I totally agree with what Ni has been saying. The key thing, I think the universe is wonderful, is this. When we are put into the situation, just solve it.
Yeah.
A lot of times I think people think too much in the sense that, like for example, I want to start a business. Am I ready for it?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
want to, wow, am I ready for it? Maybe I do this first, then I do that. Oh yeah, now I cannot do this because I have this. You know, there are times that you realize, me and Nia, we have our family young. Okay,
Yes.
I mean, we love our family. We went into a relationship, be it right or wrong, because both of us ended up, we have to end this relationship. For her
Yeah.
maybe a few years later, for me many years later, like 20 plus years later. Still, you might say, it may not be the wise decision, but we really, at the point of time, I would think it is the best decision that we have made, using
Yeah.
our emotions at a point of time, that we
Yeah.
step into, let's say, a marriage, and then have that great responsibility, followed by having children, being a parent, also another great responsibility, then stepping into entrepreneurship, being leaders not only in family with our children, but also in an organization. For her now leading like 800 people, for me at a point of time growing to about 200 people in different parts of the world.
Yeah.
So in the form of emotions, do we have a lot of struggle? I bet you have. I mean, we have. Okay, plenty. We cry a lot. Why? Because as parents, things are new to us. There isn't a manuscript, there isn't any SOP. There isn't. Okay, we have to, when we are new parents, we have to handle children who can't really express, they only know how to cry, right?
Yeah.
We have to deal with, like, for example, I have to deal with my caregiver, who's my mother in law, who can't really communicate well with me because they have their thinking. Right? I've also got to communicate, like Nia is saying, my other part, who's my spouse, who's also a new parent and have never taken care of children before,
Yeah.
right? And he is also a child himself, right? Yeah, we know men never grows up. Yeah,
Yeah.
so they are children themselves and they have emotions that need us also. So this is where, I would say this, like what Nee has mentioned, practice. And how to practice, just immerse ourselves into the situation. Yes, we have the emotions, we deal with it. We just need to be very happy to say that, first of all, be grateful. I would say, first of all, like what Nee is saying, because of the love. And how the love coming is, I learned this from many months ago, half a year ago. I learned this thing called unconditional gratitude, which is
Mm.
to really thank the blessings that we have on a daily basis. Now, before I started this, because today we are doing recording, right? Just now I was even taking the picture. It's early morning, 6 plus a.m. We actually wake up early morning to actually do this recording because this is the timing that both of us have before the
Yes.
day starts for our family. Because we are recording this, I can share with you, it's a weekend and family is important. So this time when my family members are actually sleeping, maybe when you are sleeping, you are thinking like, a weekend, 6 a.m., we are doing our recording and in zest,
Yeah.
we have totally woken up and we are so excited with this topic on the emotions. But even though we may be physically, I'm not tired physically, actually I'm very recharged, but we are really very happy to do this. So you see, in the
Yeah.
situation that if you say that we are struggling with, no, we just make things happen, be unconditionally gratitude and grateful that this is really happy. Before I even start, I take 15 minutes to write this morning's gratitude, 20 gratitude, what I'm happy with, I'm grateful for. I'm even grateful for Nee, and her team to support in this. I'm very grateful today that you are watching this, that we can support you as well. I think this is
Yeah.
the first thing. Be grateful that we are in the situation to allow us to grow. Yeah, so that struggle that you might say with this emotion, the moment that I have some negative emotions that I find that really it seems hopeless, it seems like nobody's understanding me, it seems like I'm unhappy, I'm sad. I first write down what I am grateful for. And I will realize that, wow, I'm so grateful that I have this learning today. I'm so grateful that I'm put in this situation that allows me to grow. So this is how I overcome it. Once I turn that negative emotions into gratitude, it is so much better. Yeah, so that's where we can be so happy about it. And looking back, I will tell you, you won't regret this. You will really be very thankful that you are in that situation, and it allows you to overcome, to grow it. And I
Yeah.
always say, if I'm at the rock bottom, the only way is definitely the next step is go
Go
up.
up.
Nothing
Yeah.
else. Isn't that great? Yeah, so that's how I make it the best.
Yeah.
Yes.
I I think that the different also that I want to highlight what Pauline tried to say, that I agree as well, that we actually have a problem same as normal human being, and we actually have more. We just don't brag about that, right? And bragging and complaining is a one of, and this is also science study show that if you sit down and talk about your problem too much, you just
Mm,
make it bigger for your life, and depression will come more often when you keep complaining the same thing. And that's why they say the most effective thing for depression patient is first you have to go for exercising.
yes.
Let's do something, errand work like cooking, run with the kid in the park, walking in the park, even go out
Mm,
with nature, or do something meaningful, go serve, go help. So it's study improve in term of show that people who really realize that sit down with your problem is not good for your
mm,
mental health, right? And why I'm bringing that up, to let people know that as a leader we have the same problem that everybody else have, but we just manage that. We totally understand that sit down and thinking the problem not solved. We
yeah, it
just
was
have to make things done. Yeah. And sometimes you just have to do something. Right, just to have to pick yourself up, and it's very hard to pick yourself up and do something, but that's a part of life. You
yeah,
want to, it's like a tree. If
yeah,
you ask a tree to be exactly where they are, it must be fake tree. If not, a normal tree have to grow, and growing is painful
yeah,
every single day. Yeah, but it's worth it. Like what Pauline said, it's worth it. All the
yeah.
pain I go through, I think it's worth it.
Treat that pain as I like to go massage. Yesterday, I was having, like you mentioned, exercise, right? I have a personal trainer to really do some training with me, and she uses this little ball to,
Oh, that's one pain.
those
The
kind
rush
that
hour
in the
pain.
muscle. Yeah, that I was like, oh, 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 that kind of pain. Then I said,
Yeah.
oh, this is a really very, I don't know how to explain it, but this
Yes,
is
yes.
where it's
They
painful,
call
but it feels
sport
so good.
massage.
Huh,
Yeah.
sorry,
They
sports
call
massage.
sport massage. Yeah. It's mean
Ah,
like to release your muscle. So when your muscle will exercise
really,
too much, it's tweezing. So the job you have
correct.
to remove that, so the blood can flow. That's why you don't walk like a robot, or your body. Yeah, I have the same experience.
But
Like
it's that,
when I done exercise, yeah, my
yeah,
personal trainer kill me. The
yeah,
pain is so much pain, but after that, it will good for your body. But at that moment, you're like, can I don't have to tolerate this pain?
oh,
It's
hey, but I like to,
painful.
maybe
Oh yeah.
I'm a sadist. This feels, but it's painful. That kind of like, I was like enjoying it. Yeah, it's painful. Yeah, I said, Polly, yeah, you're just sadist. Okay, test
Yeah.
it, especially the part at the hip. Oh,
Oh my god.
really? And but it feels so good to release the points,
Yeah.
because it's too much. Okay, next question.
Let's
Yeah,
go to next question.
yeah. When
Where
did
did you become aware of your inner child, and how had that child grown with you?
yeah,
Mm.
I always have that inner child. That's why I named my dog Princess. Yeah, I
Oh.
have a beautiful husky. Okay, and I named her. For those who goes to my sometimes my Insta, you can add me on Insta or Facebook. Can follow me on Facebook. My Facebook has reached the maximum number, but I can follow on my page. All right, under Pauline Teo. And I always like to post my little puppy. She's not little. She's quite big. She's a husky, 25 kg. And I named her Princess. you know. And why princess? Because she's my inner child. Yeah, she's my inner child, like a princess. And I always see her. She has her tantrums, and she's needy, and I'm sometimes needy as well. All right, but as a late 40s woman, I cannot tell people I'm needy. So she's she's my inner child, uh, to let me be aware also that I've got a need as well.
Mm,
So that let me know. So always acknowledge your inner child. I always acknowledge my inner child. So Princess is a reflection of me, that I have my inner child, and I grow with her in me. So this is something that I always allow myself to be in that mood. For example, I will eat my ice cream. I at times I will go with my daughter to have some fun thing. Okay, we like to explore around different cafes, and there are times we love those food in the cafes, and it just feed us. Like we share the pancake, waffles, the little joy. That is how our inner child, how I grow with that inner child. Let it come out and acknowledge it. And sometimes the inner child can be throwing tantrums. I just throw tantrums, and I tell my two children to say that, you know what, mommy today is just angry, and my angry is really, I'm just throwing tantrums. Let them know. Yeah, sometimes children, they are like good adults also. They'll say, okay, mommy, all right, how are you feeling right now? You will be surprised, kids can do that. Or even to your better half, let your better half know, today I'm not feeling good, and let them know. Don't need to hide it. Okay, let your inner child say, just tell them, today I just want to have my tantrums, and is it okay? There are times I do that, you know. So that's how I do. Yeah. So how about you becoming aware of the inner child?
yeah. So for me, I think first, if you don't even realize that you have your inner child, for starting step, you should ask for help, and you should find
Mm,
professional people who can guide you to have a connection with your inner child first. And
that's
then when you have it, then you can start practice to, like, again, the word practice I use a lot because it's really, that's how I do thing and I deal with thing in my life. I
mm,
would take the knowledge, the information, and yes, the first few time I still have to talk to my mentor about, so why we have this and what we have it, because it's very important you have someone to communication and guide
mm,
you correctly, so you don't confuse between the problem you have and the inner child. Because like the early question we answer, right? I'm
mm.
talking about, if you keep talking about the same problem,
Yeah.
then the problem will be big. So how do we solve the problem with our awareness? And sometimes the awareness need a little bit help and support from professional people who done there and who have knowledge and experience. And after that, most of the time when you not feel well, for example, I go through like crisis of my life when I start social media, for example. That's the nearer thing I can remember.
Mm,
Nobody teach me that before. Even whoever know me around me, nobody be a public figure like me to deal with public crisis when people try to damage your reputation, and a lot of drama or comment. And I will feel a lot of pain. Pain same like a heartbreak,
yeah.
because you put so much of years and effort and energy to do it, and you love what you're doing, and you know that you not do anything wrong, but
Yeah.
people still hate you even you do nothing wrong. And I have to and when you have zero people help around, and that's when I come back to the inner child and I ask myself that's question. But it take years for me to be where am I, and I'm sure Pauline also same. It take years for us to be where we are, that when we can able to communication with our inner child. And you have to really give the need that the inner child help. And in that process I figured out that the sadness and the heart pain I have, because I want to be valued by other people of I'm a good person,
Mm,
right? And it's hurt because even you want to be valued as a good person or the contribute to the world or whatsoever, no matter what need you need inside you, you have to be true to yourself. And
Yes.
then I have to deal with that one more time about, if you have to be approved by other to do it, then you have to close the channel, because no point, nobody going to approve you anyway. Are you going to be live with this, go through this with judgment from other and still doing what you're doing? And that conversation is really bring me to the next state of my life. And like I say, you will grow with your inner child. Every
Mm,
conversation you have,
yeah.
rather negative or positive, you feed them negative, then your life will getting worse. But if you feed them positive, somehow it give you the next strength to deal with the next problem in your life. Because, and then I do more research, how many people are really famous in the world, how do they deal with it, and then I find the common ground, everybody share the same thing for you. So again, I would say somebody already done what you're doing. Go and find them, talk to them, or find information that they're sharing about the problem they have to deal with and how they overcome and solve with it, and then use that tools as the power to talk to your inner child. Because the end, we all human. we
Mm,
have we can have a different kind of look and character a little bit than here, but inside us, we all want the same thing. We want to be loved, we want to be have family, or we want to have people that care for us deeply.
yeah.
So come back to that and feed
Yeah.
the inner child.
Yes. Feed the inner child. It's
Yeah.
important. Yeah. Do not ignore it.
Yeah.
Yes, if there is a need, say it out. Seek help. There are many ways to seek help. Nee has given an example. Go for a course. I went for a class called Inner Child just this April.
Mm.
Yes, and it's a 5 day program to really deal with the inner child to know why I behave a certain way. Yeah, so the more we are aware of it, we are conscious of it, the better we can manage it. Yeah,
Yeah.
all right. There's nothing wrong in any one of us. We are all born perfect. I always say this. Okay, we are all born perfect. We definitely have our strengths. We will have our weaknesses. We are
Yeah.
all leaders in our own right.
Yeah.
Yeah, depending. I mean, regardless of how many people we manage or we lead, right? We are still leaders in our own right. I always believe in that.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Then next question would be, then how do leaders, since we are all leaders ourselves, identify and connect with our life purpose? Wow, that's a really big word, right? Life purpose and core values to lead with meaning and motivation. You know, it is from inside. Yes.
Yeah.
So Nia, how do you lead? You have a strong life purpose, can tell. That's why you are so resilient.
Oh,
Yes. I so admire what you have been
I
doing in Noni Foundation.
I
Yeah.
think I have hit the milestone in COVID time, when when I'm when COVID is the few months that Singapore lockdown, was a very big reflect for me in terms of what life really mean to me. And
Mm,
it have time for me to compare the life. When I moved to Singapore, everything is moving so fast that, to be honest, I will never have like few months to sit down and really go to deep reflection like COVID,
right.
right? And that's three
Yeah.
months I grow a lot. um I ask a bigger question than just me and my daughter.
Mm,
I ask more question about why people say I have to be a good wife, then I have a happy life, but I don't. Ask me to be a good child, and then I have happy family, but I don't have family. They say I should be a good friend, and then I will have a good friend, but it's not true. That we can be a good friend, but we can meet 10 friends and maybe nine of them is like a collective and selective for the rest of your life. People come and go, and I'm a
yeah.
very loyalty person, and I like my thing deeply, and I connect with my thing, and I can. And the same too, I love people, right? I want to be with people. I want to witness them success. I want to see people rise up. And somehow you don't have that in life much. And I
Mm,
go back to the inner child that inside me, and I ask me, what do I want to do when I were a kid?
mm,
And I think the only thing that I want to do as a kid is to take care of me. And I start discover of if I take care of me, it's me. I want to find a child like me to take care. And that's how I start my NhiLe Foundation, because I don't trust other people yet to deliver the whole thing that I want to do. And it comes with responsibility, you know that. Like when you do something charity and involve money, it can be very sensitive. People will say you try to use that to make your name more famous, or if you do it and you without sharing, then your fan will like, why you don't share with me so I can support your dream. So it's a whole stressful of, you just want to be a good person, you also have to follow the procedure. And is I, oh, if you ask me back, I won't start NhiLe Foundation because so much work have to be done, you know, so much paperwork, so much. But now I already started for 5 years, so you have to keep moving on, because I naive and I motivate and I so much energy. Trust me, I still do it for the rest of my life. But I'm just saying it's very tough for a guy to open the foundation. And when I decide to, after COVID done, and I start to go back and start contribute, start go all the charity work I've been planned and dream of and go off and go there and serve people hand to hand on the face with my team. I finally find home. Like I find home inside my heart. I feel like, oh my God, this is what people say about purpose in life. It gives you a sense of life. You go there and you think you give people, but actually they give you back more. They
Mm.
give you so much gratitude. They give you, they thanks to you. The kid that, for example, I am take care of a lot of kids in charity, in foundation right now, that my charity will keep give them, give the place fund for every month for pay for food and also school for them. And I remember the story that I come there visit in the random day, and the baby is just so young, 5 day old. Can you imagine, 5 day old? And the mom left the kid in front of the orphanage, and
Oh,
break my heart so much. And to see the kids so resilient there with a bottle of milk, and around the baby just another baby that is like maybe 8 months old or like 1 years old, and they live together. And they, and you guys, if you guys never go all this orphanage place, you guys should go. You have one kid and you complain about this, you should see that 20 kids stay together and they don't even cry. They
yeah,
happy together, they cheerful, they grateful, they have friends together in the same place. And it give me a life, I say they give me life again to doing what I doing. And
yeah,
when every time I feel burnout, I feel stress, that's the place that I go back, doing the work that I meant to do, to remove myself from all the drama from the online where people are ungrateful. I don't blame people who ungrateful. I'm just saying that I choose to step myself out from that. When go
yeah,
to the place that people don't even have internet, people don't even have technology, people have few piece of clothes to wear. And sometimes the people who stop them from education is their own parent, right?
mm,
Their own parents stop them from education so they can do farming work or whatsoever. And yes, you guys will say, what, 2024 that story still happen? I say yes. But
yes,
are you willing to going to take the airplane to the country, and then you take the van or the bus to another
mm,
side of the country, take you another 7 hour?
yeah,
Also the effort for you to can witness all this. It's
yeah,
not just you say you want to help someone and you transfer some money is mean you help. It's not. You can
mm,
transfer the money, but the money, can it come to the place and can it solve the problem they actually really deal with? It's another effort. So I would say that first you figure out who are you connect with universe, you talk to universe, you talk to yourself, because you talk to yourself, actually you talk to universe. And then you go back to your core value of who you are as a person. And what, and core value, I think is hard to remove, right? It's there inside you.
mm,
You come back to that, you connect with that, and then if that's something that you keep doing and you come back make you happy, make your life meaningful, make your life purposefully, then yes, that's for you. That's how I deal, how leader am I deal with it. Because the
Yeah.
more pressure of work, you also need to get fit, right? Energy fit, and this is fit me energy. I'll go back to all this place and see the kid and see all the people that need support from me. And I realize that I have no right to complain when I'm still healthy, and I have eyes, have leg, have arm, have brain, that I still can produce and make more income. But all these people, and because some people, they really need help, right? And some people say, oh, you should don't help people much. I say, the kid who 5 day old, what can they do? It's really somebody they really need help. I don't say everybody need help, but it's really some part of the world. Because just think about this kid, if we don't help, they will die upfront,
Yeah.
finish, right? Because even you could book the kid in orphanage place, but the orphanage have no income to take care of the kid. The mom there cannot take care of the kid. I call them mom because they really mom for me. They are sacrifice their life to there to take care of the kid. So for me, I taking care in finance, but they taking care. They use their life and their time and their effort to feeding the kid and take care of the kid. And I would say certain situation, human really need help. And if you, as a leader, you want to give your life purpose and meaningful, then you should go and see who need help and continue help people.
Mm.
Yep, that's for me.
Yeah.
How about
Thanks,
you?
me. Really, I'm very similar to me, and that's the reason why both of us are here speaking to you right now because we had the same life purpose. I really am never the type of person to keep thinking like what's my life purpose kind, but
Yeah,
I will always know that I am here for a purpose. Okay, and that purpose has got to do with my strength and what I can contribute to the humanity. This is what I believe in. And human beings, I like to see like me the transformation in human beings because this is my sense of satisfaction that fits me with the positive energy and allows me, whether there's money or no money, to continue to move on, right? So this is where that's why when I first started, I actually took on this degree called hospitality and tourism because I really like to see people being happy. In the hospitality line, people are like happy, go to hotels, we serve people. So I have always got this thing in me that I know I want to serve people. But after that, I realized, wow, that kind of service is one type of service, but there are other type of service as well, which then I move on to learning and development, which I can share with people about knowledge, about skill sets, and transform people. That's another way of me serving people. And that was what I love to do even until today about learning and development, how I share this knowledge with people, with my own knowledge and skills and with other people's knowledge and skills. And that's why we have this channel over here to share with you our own experiences. And also followed by me into entrepreneurship. And when I was in entrepreneurship, I do value investing because I really want to share with people how to manage your financials because money is so important. So
yeah,
need today has got a foundation. The primary thing, the root of it is we must have money. If we don't have
yeah,
money, how do we help that 5 year old or 5 months old kid? She needs milk and then needs a caretaker to take care of the baby. The caretaker needs money as well. She needs to eat. He needs to really support the family also. So having a foundation would require money. And that's the reason
yeah,
why I share with people how to manage their money. And today I move on another level is how do we then take care of our health and wellness, right? So this is the part that I mentioned. We actually put into the life purpose in what really fits into our energy to let us have that sense of satisfaction into the things that we love to do and we find meaning in it. Definitely there's meaning. If there's no meaning, okay, we won't be doing this like early morning, late at night, day in, day out. If it's just purely for money, I can tell you, it is not sustainable. Really, it
yeah,
is not sustainable. Okay, it is for a bigger purpose of that meaning, of that sense of satisfaction, because with that, if there are anything, any situations, any issues or challenges, because of our purpose and that mission, we can definitely overcome it. And in order to do that, the supporting layer in that mission is definitely our own core values. So if you ask me, definitely our one of the both of us, our core value is definitely this thing called responsibility.
Yeah.
Yes, I tell you. You see, we do not need to remind each other that, we are going to meet at this time, this day, even if it's very early morning. Do I need to give you a morning call to wake you up and things like that?
Yeah.
I tell you, straight on time, we are on air. Yeah,
Yeah.
and we trust each others in the process because we know we are working with people with the same core value, and that is called responsibility. Now, in the
Yeah.
event that we can't, all right, to commit to certain things, we will share. We have the responsibility to tell the next party to say that, you know what, I can't commit to this. Okay, because when I say it, I mean it, I will do it. If I can't commit, I will share it with you in advance. I will tell you in advance that I can't commit to this. Can we work out some other ways? So that's a form of a responsibility, right? And that responsibility really work towards the next key thing in our core value called integrity. Yes, and that is really important because integrity allows us to make sure that the structure is in place and they are strong. So that's what integrity means. A lot of people thought integrity means honesty. No, it's not that. Integrity just means that we are able to hold that alignment and that congruence in us to make sure that whatever that we say we do, it is aligned. And when everything is in place, is aligned, I can share with you the meaning, everything is there. And your team members and people who work alongside with you will
Yeah.
know that, will be able to feel for you. And this is where your insight is. And it will come inside out, definitely. Yeah. Yes. That's
I,
the
I, I think people have to start train themselves to find a bigger question than just survival for yourself and family. And I know it's very hard when Maslow, the Maslow
Maslow's hierarchy.
state your life that if right now you only think of hungry, then food is make you happy, right? That's the
Hmm.
basic. But we we live in the world, some part of the world. I think we already beyond that. But the reason
Yes.
why people stuck into drama or complaining or negativity because they don't know where to release the energy,
Mm.
right? They just keep stuck in the cycle of the screen time. So that's why I say if you guys can go and find the problem in the world and solve it, you will feel
Yeah.
much more happy
Mm.
than sit down and you don't know how to release your energy. Use that energy for good, because trust me, a lot of place and location and place that people still looking for volunteer, people looking for help and support. A lot of children in the world still suffer, and if you don't cover your eyes and choose that you don't want to see it, and if you're willing to take responsibility, exactly what Pauline say, right? Responsibility is the only way to make you feel purpose and meaningful. I know it's tired, but it is give you a reason to live. I
Yes.
have people that they scared of responsibilities,
Yes.
like
A lot
you
of
say.
people run away from responsibility.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they don't want
Because
to
like,
deal with.
mm,
Yeah,
because
they
it's
want to
scary.
find an easy way.
Yeah. Yes. Taking responsibility is scary because when
Yeah,
I say I'm a responsible person, that's a really big word. And that becomes very scary for a lot of individuals. So they rather tell you upfront that please don't rely on me because I'm irresponsible. But of course, they won't say in these kind of words, but their actions tell you that.
yeah,
Yeah. So, I mean, so be it. It's their choice, right? It's their
yeah.
choice in life. Okay, next one. We're so excited, right? There's so many good questions. So,
Yeah.
which are the ones? Because we still have a few questions. I think we are only probably the last
Yeah.
question that we can address. Yes.
How
Yeah.
do leaders avoid the temptation of recognizing and praise from other? Why do people seek recognition and how to overcome it?
Yeah. So, how do leaders avoid the temptation? Well, in the first place, why do I have to
Oh,
avoid?
yeah.
And my
This,
question is, why do I have to avoid? Don't need to avoid. All right. It's
I
okay. You know, for me, it's okay.
I think people think of temptation is something very negative, like how they
Oh,
use the word like woman with too much ambition is a bad word.
mm,
But for
yeah.
me, ambition is a very positive word for me. Without
Yes.
ambition, I will never have everything I have right now.
Mm,
Without ambition, I cannot take care of a lot of people that I can able to do right now. So, and temptation is the same, right? Is that bad if you temptation to help more children who are need
mm,
support and love and care from you? I
yeah.
don't think so, right? So I think people use the word too limited, and when they use it, they straight away think to one thing. Temptation is something bad, you greedy or you want. It's a different kind of greedy. If you're greedy for yourself and you cannot use it much, but for example, you buy clothes. You greedy, you buy a lot of clothes, but you only got one body to wear. Then yes, that's is something that you need to aware. But the temptation of I want to buy a lot of clothes because in the mountainside they keep very cold and they need the
Mm,
clothes that proper take care of them. Is that temptation bad? Right. So I think the question have to be bigger and make people think better than just in the negative way. Because as
mm,
the leader, we don't think like a normal people. Okay, this is me and Pauline have to agree because it's we not think like a normal people. Because if we think like a normal people, we don't be a leader. Be a
yeah.
leader is the whole set of brain and skill and mindset and belief have to be very different.
Precisely. Yes.
Yeah.
It took me a long time to get to know that I'm just different. And people have to keep reminding me, you're just different. Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
can. Now I
Yeah.
acknowledge. Right.
Up to now I see sometimes my team still remind me that I say,
Uh,
hey, it's not everybody think like you. If they think like you, they are boss already. so
yes,
so
but
stop being difficult.
yeah. So because we are like this, we thought people are like this also, right? So
Yeah.
But key thing is, it's not difficult to be like us. I would just have to share with you. It's not like that difficult to be like us also. And I mentioned avoid the temptation of recognition and praise from others. First of all, I believe everyone wants to be recognized. Yeah, we want to be recognized in one way or another. Okay. Now, first of all, the person who should be acknowledging and recognizing myself, the most important person. Think, who is that person? If you want to be acknowledged, who is the most important person who should be acknowledged yourself? Yes, thanks me. It's yourself. All
Yeah.
right, please. Okay. I realize that's the most difficult thing that I got to share with people. Okay.
Yeah.
So I have to also consciously let myself know that I have to acknowledge myself. Okay. Have that temptation to recognize myself. I recognize myself. I recognize myself for the hard work that I've done. I recognize myself even though sometimes the results may not be the results that I want to see. I still want to recognize myself for putting in the hard work, for putting in the effort, and I praise myself for good job, well done. All right, but so the key thing is actually my love language is not words of affirmation. Okay. Yeah. So normally people come to me and say, good job, well done. I'm like, okay. So after that, I start to realize actually that is not my love language. But that doesn't mean it's not the love language of others. I still tell other people, good job, well done, if I know definitely it's their love language.
Yeah.
So acknowledge, okay, have that temptation. First of all, I must say is not to avoid. I acknowledge it and I receive. Okay, so this is the key thing. We are keep talking about value adding. We love, I mean, me and I, we both love to value add to other people, and we are problem solvers. Why I do value investing, why I do health and wellness, because I know I can solve two big problems of human beings. One is definitely wealth creation, making money, wealth preservation, how to grow your money, passive income. Second, right now, I solve another problem, how to be healthy, right? How to rely less on medication. Yes. So, how to have a good physical body and how to have a good mental state and emotional state. So, I solve these two big problems. So, we are problem solvers. We add value to people. Now, the next key thing is, I think a lot of people need to learn. After that, I start to realize it's called receiving. Need to be able to receive, learn to receive. When people say you are pretty, what do we say? Thank you. You know, when there are so many times, like, wow, you're so beautiful. No la, no la. This is the typical Singaporean or probably Asians. When everyone acknowledge that I'm pretty, I'm beautiful, say that, yeah, thank you. Right. Yes. And also acknowledge that we are beautiful people. No matter how we look, I've always acknowledged, I always recognize myself beautiful human being. Okay. And I'm a beautiful woman. So why do we seek recognition and how to overcome it? Well, seeking that recognition is really important because that also acknowledges that we are doing the right thing. But it doesn't mean that when people do not acknowledge that, it is the wrong thing, that we are not doing well. As long as we know this is the mission that we are doing, it's just a matter of time how we can do it better. Okay, so
Yeah.
this is the key thing. We want that acknowledgement, okay, receive the acknowledgement, get the acknowledgement from individual first, from myself, and then we can see from other people, from the feedback that we have gotten from others who have receiving the value that we have created, the problems that we help to solve. Okay, from there, get the feedback. And the feedback would help us to become better. It's not that it is no good, okay, please stop saying that it's failure, it's no good. It's just that we learn ways of not doing it in a certain way, and we can always be better. So
Yeah.
this is what I would say in terms of recognition and how I get that recognition, and I love it, as well as praising myself for helping people to solve problem and start to also recognize others and praise others as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
All right. I think that's it for today episode, guys. Don't forget to
Yeah.
like, share, and subscribe my channel and also Pauline channel. All the information is under the description below. Come here to see it.
Yes. Okay.
And we'll see you guys in the next episode.
Yeah. If you have not watched the movie, please go.
If you love what you've been watching, if you love all the content that we share with you guys, and if you love whatever video and topic that we share with you guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, and we are all in the YouTube socials like Insta, FB, TikTok, and remember to watch out for our next video.